Yo, what is up, everybody? Today we are going to build a salary cap team. The new Madden Ultimate Team salary cap mode is out. Salary cap ranked. The beta version of it is out. We're on the budget squad here, and as you guys see, the budget squad on the top right, the cap total is 1,913. That is way over the limit of what you can do. The limit on cap total is 1,000 points. We have almost double that, and this is our budget team, all right? This is not even like a crazy team. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to create a new salary lineup, and we're just gonna call salary lineup 1. Why not? And we're gonna have to make some cuts. Not everybody you guys saw on that big team there is going to be on our new team, but at the same time, we don't want to have a bunch of bums just to go over under 1,000 and lose the thing. So to start off, we're not going to have Jameis Winston at quarterback, but we're not going to have Mark Sanchez at quarterback. We're going to have Tony Romo. He's 64 contracts. Obviously, you could, mix and match with these quarterbacks. This is not the perfect lineup. These are just players in my binder because this is a budget team. I don't exactly have the crazy amount of players. We're going to put Tony Romo there. We don't want to waste too many salary cap points, contracts, whatever you want to call it, on a great player like Jameis Winston when Tony Romo can get the job done. At the fullback spot, we are going completely budget, all right? Maybe you do need a fullback, but we're not going to necessarily waste our points on a fullback, and we don't want to. We'd rather save those points somewhere else, because as you make your lineup, you're going to get very close to going over the 1,000 mark, so it's very important you go a little bit budget on some of those players. And now at the wide receiver spot, once again, we don't want to just use Michael Irvin because he has 66 salary cap points. That is a lot of points. Even Amari Cooper, 64. And one thing you're going to notice is overalls don't exactly matter. You see Dorial Green-Beckham and Odell are the same overall, but Odell is cheaper. Therefore, we're going to use Odell Beckham here. Now, Odell's not tall enough, really, exactly, but we got to cut our budget somewhere. And at the wide receiver spot, I feel like you could put wide receivers in position, and as long as you run good plays, they should get open. It's not exactly you need the great receivers as opposed to spending those salary cap points like higher overall players at different positions. So you see we put Keenan Allen there at the wide receiver 2 spot. The reason for that is because he has great route running. At the wide receivers 3 spot, you see Brandon Cooks, 42 salary cap points. That's almost as much as Odell at the 88 overall spot, and pretty much the highest of any goal player, at least in our binder, as far as I can tell. But we're gonna use Brandon Cooks. He has 95 speed. We don't have a great speed threat on this team, so it'll be nice to burn someone over the top. Brandon Cooks is always good for that. And we just show you Keenan Allen, 95 route running, 93 catch in traffic. That is why he's at the number 2 wide receiver spot. So he'll be a good budget player to have on our team. At the tight end spot, I'd love to use someone like Jason Witten and his 30 contracts, but for now, we're gonna go a little bit budget, and we are going to use Delaney Walker, and we'll just see how it works out. I'm doing a little bit of experimentation here. I'm not even sure this lineup's going to be close to 1,000 or not. You guys are going through the process with me, all right? Offensive line, we're not going to try to use our best players like Tyron Smith here. Not because offensive line is not an important position in football, because it definitely is, but specifically in Madden 16, offensive line play is very inconsistent. When I say inconsistent, I mean inconsistently bad. So we're going to put Carl Nix at the left guard spot. We're not going to use our best player once again because we want to use those points somewhere else. Like I said, you guys are going to see as we build this lineup, we are going to cut it very close, most likely to 1,000. We're probably going to go over it on our first try because it's just the way it is. John Greco is going to be our right guard because we don't want to use Zach Martin. We're going to build an all-goal offensive line. Now, this is obviously an experiment. Maybe you do need some decent offensive linemen. We're going to use Phil Loadhole here. He's a decent run blocking left tackle or right tackle. Hopefully, he doesn't give up any sacks with that 80 pass blocking. We'll see how it works out. And then at the running back spot, I feel like just like in draft champions, one of the most important positions is the running back spot. So rather than using D'Angelo Williams, we're actually going to use our best player, Doug Martin. Now, obviously, this is an experiment. We could throw D'Angelo in there and save 14 contracts and or cap value points and use that elsewhere. But for now, we're going to put Doug Martin in there. That's our offense. You see these flex positions. You need 2 flex players that go in these flex spots. We'll get to that later. First, we're just going to build our lineup. You guys see, we do need to require 4th receiver here. So I'll just show you guys what we're going to use for now. We're going to use Steve Smith Sr. Now, the reason we're going to use that guy, you may be thinking, if you're using you're not going to use the 4th receiver all the time, that maybe you could put a bronze player there. Keep in mind, those bronze players are probably going to see the field. If Brandon Cooks gets tired, that means Steve Smith Sr. is going to see the field. So rather than having some bronze player who can't catch and can't run a route, we're going to put someone who can at least play. Now, you could do it differently. You could put a bronze player. Maybe that works better for you. But for us, that's what we're going to do. See, we put Devin McCourty at the free safety spot. We can't exactly use Sean Taylor. I'd love to, but we got to cut our losses somewhere, right? And Devin McCourty's a pretty good free safety anyways. This Josh Norman is a beast. 36 cap value points, I feel like, is quite the they kind of underestimated this guy. 96 zone, great pressing, play recognition is pretty good. So we're going to put our Josh Norman out there, and hopefully he plays well for us at the second cornerback spot. Once again, I'd love to use our boy Aqib Talib, but we can't exactly use our points on Aqib Talib for now. We just got to build our lineup and see. Hopefully it's good. So we're going to put Malcolm Butler there at the 2 spot. He's not exactly a budget beast. He's just budget beast. He's just someone we're putting in the lineup for now. And then at the 3rd spot, we're going to use Logan Ryan. Now, you don't need 3 good cornerbacks, but the way I play, I run a nickel a lot, a nickel defense. So I need 3 good cornerbacks for the most part on the field. So if you don't need 3 cornerbacks, you can use one of those like 40 contracts we use on Logan Ryan somewhere else. Now, on the defensive line, we're not going to go crazy on the defensive line. We're just going to put good enough players on the line, and then we'll get some good outside linebackers. So we're not going to have a crazy good pass rush for now, but I don't really send too many blitzes. So this is my style of play. Obviously, you could play different. I run a 3-4, so you see I'm going to put Muhammad Wilkerson here because he's going to help us stop the run. And since I like running a 3-4, that means we don't really need the defensive tackle position. And if you don't need a position, go budget on it. Go absolutely, not even budget, just tank. Tank like the Philadelphia 76ers on the position you don't need, all right? So you need 2 defensive tackle positions. I don't even need 1. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put 2 random goal players. Like I said, I don't want to risk having a bad player step on the field. So we're going to put some, decent players out there. But we are going to, put a bronze guy. I doubt this second defensive tackle is going to see the field. And plus, we need a second right end. So seeing as we don't exactly need that position too much, we'll probably just throw in a bronze player. I'm looking for someone. So that guy has 14 contracts. You see this bronze player has 14 contracts. So what we could just do is, instead of putting the bronze guy, let's just put the gold guy that has 2 more contracts. Sometimes you don't got to put the bronze guy just because the bronze looks good. Sometimes, like Manny Lawson, 86 speed for a backup. I feel like that's actually really good. I didn't even notice we had him in our binders. So I'm actually okay with that. And then we actually need a 4th cornerback position. So we're going to, once again, we could put a bronze player. We could go all the way down and say, hey, bind them. You're 10 spaces or whatever. But, if our first 3 cornerbacks get tired, I want to put someone decent on the field, so we put this guy on. So far, 704 cap points. We have 23 of the 39 required players. Basically, we're cutting it close. We are cutting it close. Therefore, we can't exactly put Shaq Thompson on the field in his 40 salary cap points. I'd love to, but we can't exactly do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Aaron Lynch. 87 speed off the edge. Should be pretty decent for us, so hopefully Aaron Lynch does work. We put him 84 overall. He's kind of a budget kind of guy. We're going to put Manti Te'o, our best middle linebacker, the middle linebacker 1 spot. And since I do need 2 middle linebackers on my team, we're going to actually put a pretty decent player here. For now, we're going to put the tiny titan, Christian Kirksey. Well, if we have to change it up, we might do that. But Kirksey actually cost a lot of contracts. I mentioned before, overalls don't exactly matter. Kirksey is 38 contracts. He's more than somebody elite guy, because he's actually a really good budget player. And that's the thing, some of these budget beasts like the Rising Star Z, who's only 87 overall, there are a lot of contracts. Like EA kind of sniffed it out. They kind of like they kind of took our budget stuff away from us, and now we got to find a new way to create budget beasts. So we're gonna put Dante Hightower out here. Even though he's not a left outside linebacker, we don't really have a budget kind of guy. So Dante Hightower is kind of our best bet. I actually forgot to put the free safety spot. That's my mistake. I was building our secondary, and I forgot to mention that I'm using Calvin here. Now, this is not something you have to do. You can easily put a Dante Whitner or a George Iloka out here. For me, I like using Calvin Johnson. It's kind of what makes my specific defense work out pretty decently. So, I use the Calvin at the free safety spot. That's what we're going to do. At the strong safety spot, doesn't really matter who we put here. We're not going to exactly put a crappy player. So, you're going to see Duke Williams, 80 zone coverage, decent enough. Let's just throw him out there. He'll be our backup in case of anything. So far, our team is an 85 overall. That's pretty good, pretty good. Now, we do have to get some special teams players. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to get someone who doesn't really cost many contracts at the punter spot. Hopefully, we don't have to punt. That's the thinking in that. Hopefully, we don't have to punt. And then at the kicking spot, we could use Brandon McManus, but he's 25 cap value points. Or we could go a little bit more budget. We could use a Caleb Sturgis or a Brandon McManus or even a Jordan Gay. Jordan Gay has 19. This guy is 17. They have the same kick power. So we're just going to go with the guy with less kick power, which is the bronze Brandon McManus. It's 8 less points than the actual kicker we use. So we'll see how that works out. And then at these spots, you probably just want to use players you already have on your roster. Like you see, we put Valdir there at the Running back spot, we're going to put Doug Martin because, you know, Doug Martin at the third running back spot is already our first down running back. Kickoff spot, we're going to put either our kicker or punter. And you want the guy with better kick power at this spot, so we're going to use the bronze McManus. You see, we're filling out our positions. The kick returner, I'm not even sure who I'd use kick returner in this lineup, but for now, we're going to use Odell Beckham Jr. at the kick returner spot just to put someone there. And now we're going to have, after I put Odell in this spot, 36 of the 39 players. And then we are going to need our 2 flex players. One of the flex positions I would really personally like to use is the running back spot. Because if Doug Martin gets tired, who's backing him up? Probably the fullback, Christian Neighbor, or Matthew Tucker, whatever crappy fullback you're using, the one from the Giants, Nakota Whitlock. You don't want this guy really running the ball too much. So we're going to put Ronnie Hillman here. He doesn't cost too many contracts. We're not planning on running the ball with him much, but just as a backup thing, just because we need a flex position, a running back flex, not a bad option to have. And then plus these running backs could double as receivers. Now we actually do need a tight end, so what we're going to do actually is maybe mess around with the tight end. Actually, no, we'll come back to the tight end spot in a second because I want to make sure we end up under 1,000 salary cap points. We are on pace to do that. Our second flex player is going to be a right outside linebacker. We're going to use Vontaze Burfict, actually. Yeah, we'll use Vontaze Burfict for now. He's 24 contracts, decent goal player. Just good enough for us. And then we'll get back to this tight end spot because we have 25 points to play with. So what I'm thinking here is if we put Jason Witten, actually we can't exactly do that. I'm thinking about this one for a second. I'm trying to figure out, one thing you can't do is you can't put a wide receiver at tight end. So if I tried to put Dorial Green Beckham, they wouldn't even let me do it. So you actually have to put tight ends in tight end spots. Now, so you can sub them in and out during the game, but for now, we might not be able to use Jason Witten. I'll see how this works out. Let's see if we use Jason Witten here. But as you guys see, we have 30 out of 39. I think I might not waste too much of your time with this. I'll figure this out on my own time. Oh, man. That cut of Jets close. All right, so let's just say we put Clay Harbor here. That's 998. And this is our lineup. 39 out of 39. This is the legitimate lineup this team could play in a salary cap rank game. Now, is it the best team? I don't know. Probably not. This is just the first lineup I made. This is with a bunch of budget players. But considering this is a budget team, pretty decent lineup. We have a good running back. Offensive line is debatable how that's going to work. Our wide receiving core, Odell, Brandon Cooks' speed, Keenan Allen's route running, and Jason Witten's route running. Hopefully that can help us out. That is all subject to change. I'd rather have better defensive players than offensive players. I believe offense, you can just put people in. Defense, you kind of want players that can make plays for you when you're not using them. So that's why we got guys like Josh Norman and Logan Ryan and even Calvin Johnson at the free safety spot. And then our kickers, you guys see the lineup. So that's the team. Leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed it. My batteries died right on cue. That was pretty clutch. So let's put my controller down. Leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed it, if you guys learned anything from it. I'm going to put the lineup I made in the description. You guys will see the link to the lineup on muthead.com. So you guys want to use that as a base to make your own team, you can do that. So once again, leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. We'll come back with some games with this team. We'll build new teams to show you guys how to do it some more times. And I'll catch you guys next time for all of that.